Like in one example, let's say you don't want to kill animals, but you have a humane mousetrap in your basement. Okay, why not? You don't want to snap the neck of the mouse. That's cruel. You like animals, right? So you save the mouse. You got to check on it every few days because they dry out quickly if you trap it. So what do you do when you catch it? What do they do?
Release them.
Release it back into the wild, guaranteeing the mouse gets eaten whole by an owl or pecked apart by all manner of woodland predators between 9 and 18 months of its life. So the safest thing to do with your mouse is to leave it in your basement. If you really care about animal life and the mouse managed to get into your basement, leave it there. It'll live up to 6 years in your basement.
I lived in Colorado for a while next to an ashram, and I was visiting the ashram and talking to the woman who runs it, and she sprayed Raid all over these ants. And I go, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, it's unfortunate, but we have to address the fact that we have an infestation of insects." I'm like, you just mass killed all these living beings with poison from the sky. And you did it in front of me.
Aerial assault.
While you're espousing the benefits of Buddhism and meditation and...
Yeah, so people kind of cherry pick.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but... And
it's odd.
I don't mind if someone cherry picks as long as they're completely self-aware.
Most people aren't.
And by the way, the home where you're saving the mouse, I did a rough calculation. It's probably made from the wood of about 50 trees. Each tree could have lived 100 years, but didn't because it was cut down to make your home. The 2x, the studs, the 2x4s, the floorboards, the wall panels, the siding. And each of those trees was home to birds and insects and fungus and squirrels and every day of that tree's life, via photosynthesis, it created 15 times the mass of the mouse in breathable oxygen. So I ask you, who do you think nature cares more about? The tree or your 1-ounce mouse?
Probably the tree.
I'm thinking. And some trees live 1,000 years.
Well, have you paid attention to some of the new research that's being done about how trees communicate with each other?
I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that. That's in that chapter, the Meatarians and Vegetarians chapter. So trees are fascinating. I've heard people say, well, the mouse has a beating heart and the tree does not, or plants do not, and animals do. And I said to myself, well, let me think this through. If you cloak a tree, does it not suffocate? If you cut a tree, does it not bleed? If you cut off its nutrients at the base, does it not wither and die?
Well, when they're aware they're being eaten, they release plant defense chemicals.
I'm getting there. All I'm saying is the tree gets nutrients from the soil to the topmost leaf. It does it not for want of a beating heart. It does it in spite of not having one.
Right.
It has a circulation.
It just has a different way of life.
It's where I get my maple syrup from, tree blood. So to fault a tree or plant life for not having a beating heart, when it's not that they need one and don't have one, it's that they don't need one and never wanted one. Now you're talking about the mycelium. So this is a interconnected network. It's a fungal network underfoot in a forest where it connects multiple kingdoms of life. There are 4 kingdoms. You might have learned that there were 2. We've upped it since then. Those 2 kingdoms are still intact, but like I said, now there's more. It's embedded in a larger truth. There was the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, fungal kingdom, and then we have a kingdom that includes all of the bacteria and archaea and other microscopic life forms. And so here's an interesting fact. I lost sleep for a week over this. Ready? If you look at the common ancestor between fungus and animals, because the tree of life ultimately has one taproot, Okay, and as it splits, it speciates, and you get all these things. The diversity of life on Earth is enabled by the fact that life can speciate. Okay, you look at the common ancestor between animals and fungus, the common ancestor between humans and mushrooms split later than its common ancestor split with green plants. What that means is we and mushrooms are more alike than either we or mushrooms are to green plants.
Well, mushrooms breathe oxygen.
All I'm saying is, you grill a portobello mushroom? What's the first word people use to describe it?
Vegetarian.
No, they talk about mushrooms tasting meaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, meaty mushroom.